Well, again, my name is Mike. I'm a chaplain with Trinity of Christ Ministries. I'm also a relationship coach, specializing in intimacy and infidelity issues. And today we're talking about warning signs that a woman is probably cheating. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, Chaplain Mike, why aren't you talking about the warning signs with men cheating? Well, uh, honestly, it's because men do a much better job of hiding their cheating because most of the time they're not emotionally attached. Women, being emotional creatures, tend to get attached emotionally to the person they're cheating with. This inevitably leads to neglect of the husband. So it tends to be a little easier to spot, but most men miss it because most men simply don't believe that their wife would do that. So this is by no means anything against the females or anything like that. There are lots of women out there who are very faithful wives and would never cheat, and so we're not addressing those women are doing what they need to do, and uh, lots of times men are just in physical affairs and they don't, they're not interested in an emotional connection with an affair partner. Is for them is strictly physical. So for women, it tends to be a little different though. Women are usually emotionally attached to the person they're having an affair with. Uh, they're wired that way. They're created that way by God, and women, uh, are very much connected to their emotions far more than men in most cases. Um, so this is why this video will focus on that because the women show much more traits because of this emotional connection that they tend to form with the affair partner. Um, One of the things you'll see when a woman is cheating, or in some cases, pretty close to cheating, she definitely has someone in mind. Uh, the first thing is, of course, intimacy. Intimacy with the husband goes out the window. Uh, this is because she's formed an emotional attachment with another man, or she's in the process of forming an attachment with another man. Women have a very hard time splitting emotions on an equal basis between two people. So one person is inevitably going to suffer if there's another person in her life. So this is almost always the husband, of course, because this is the reason for the affair. So she's going to get an emotional attachment to the affair partner, and the husband will suffer for this. He will suffer from lack of intimacy because of this. Uh, a lot of them cut off intimacy completely. Some of them still have intimacy, but they're not present. They act like they'd rather be somewhere else. So this is, the first telltale sign. We see this a lot. Um, the other one is focusing only on herself. She will be very focused on herself, her looks, uh, her personality. Uh, Oftentimes, after she sees this affair partner, she will come home and still be distant, but she'll be giddy, happy. You know, you may see just kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of personality where this is kind of abnormal for her. But all of a sudden, she, you know, she went to Linda's house, and 3 hours later she comes back and she's all giddy and happy. this is kind of a red flag. Um, Gaslighting is a big one. Telling you she'll be self improvement on herself while telling you at the same time you're holding her back. This is commonly used. For instance, she may say, "Well, I'm going to the gym because I'd like to, feel better about myself." Well, on the surface, I mean, that sounds like a good thing. I mean, most husbands want their wife to feel good about themselves, uh, but you're not invited. You're not invited to take this journey. This is her journey, not your journey. And so focus on herself, and the husband's not invited to help her, or come along on the same journey. Instead of saying, "Hey, let's both of us go to the gym," it's only her going to the gym, just as an example. It can be other things, maybe she joins a book club that she wants to be by herself, or whatever. But the point is, you're left out. The husband's left out of the equation. um, Emotional disconnect, creating distance. This is very common. Like I said, women cannot equally share emotions between two men. So the new affair partner is getting all the emotional connection. The husband isn't. Uh, this will show up in subtle ways. Short conversations, yes or no answers, things like that. You feel a change, and she will try her best to hide this change in all likelihood, but you will still notice it if you pay attention. You will see this change come. Uh, One thing to remember is affairs start slow. Uh, they're usually subtle. They usually lie in the dark. You know, it's usually later when it comes to light. Most women, let me rephrase. Most men believe that their wife is going to have an affair with with some random guy she met or something like that. It's usually almost never the case. It's usually someone she has talked to for a while, somebody she's come to know. Uh, this is usually the person. Usually not going to, it's not going to be the cable guy or the guy that works at the gas station or something like that. This is probably going to be somebody that she has confided in, and she has got to know over a period of time, and somebody that she usually spends a good amount of time with. This is why 88% of the time affairs happen with a coworker, because they spend a lot of time together. They're around each other every day. So this is a good place for this to develop. Um, Other things, you'll be accused of being controlling if you question things. A question that would be reasonable to ask, all of a sudden will become unreasonable. You'll be accused of being controlling, or toxic. Say, for instance, she comes home late from somewhere, and you say, "Oh, well, why are you so late coming home?" Instead of offering a brief, simple explanation, "Oh, I was stuck in traffic." She'll go into anger mode and say, you know, "Why are you checking up on me? Why are you accusing me? You're being toxic. You're being controlling." You know, your wife. If she's never did this before, and all of a sudden you're getting accused of all this and getting gaslit constantly about having reasonable questions that any normal person would have, that's it's good indication something's going on. Uh, Lack of conversation, snappy, you know, very snappy, little things. Any little thing you do, uh, she snaps your head off. Very snappy. This is that cognitive dissonance that we always talk about, uh, making you the villain. That's that's part of that, making the husband the villain. So yeah, her brain can reconcile what she's doing because it knows it's wrong, so it has to reconcile itself. It's looking for balance. Uh, Also, uh, this is kind of part of the snapping. Overly defensive. Gets defensive about any little thing, any little question. Uh, and the reason for this is not simply because like you made them mad, but it's because you're you're tugging at the lie. You're tugging at the betrayal, at the dishonesty. So the only defense for that is to become, overly defensive. They, uh, why are you questioning me? Don't you trust me? You're making a big deal out of nothing. You're going to hear this. Uh, this is being overly defensive about little minor things. Uh, you often feel like that you're walking on eggshells every time you're around her. If you say one little thing, it explodes into this huge, you know, attack. You're accused of attacking her when in fact she's the one attacking you for just, you know, asking something that's reasonable, but you're being attacked for it. This is that cognitive dissonance again. It's justifying, defensiveness. Um, Overly obsessed with her looks. We've said this before. Women are very much about their looks. So when they're entertaining a new man, they're going to be overly possessive about their looks. They're going, spend much more time on their makeup, much more time on their hair, uh, new clothes, new underwear, especially of the exotic type. Very common, very, very common. Um, if this is a physical affair, she's going to want to be attractive for this new man. So, uh, you know, the lacy underwear and, teddies and all that sort of thing. Very common for this. One thing you have to ask yourself: if your wife is buying all this new sexy lingerie and underwear, if she's not wearing them for you, then who's she wearing them for? Pretty simple answer, right? Yeah. So don't miss the signs. Yeah. If she's putting all this effort into her looks and buying negligees and things like that, and yet you're not seeing the benefit of any of this. Somebody's seeing the benefit because she's not doing this for herself. That's another excuse you'll get. Oh, I'm doing this to feel better about myself. No, you're not. She's not doing it for her. She's doing it for someone else, another man. Um, Overly protective of her phone. This is a big one. Uh, you know, Again, you know your wife better than I do, or any other counselor or coach does. So if your wife always left her phone laying around, it was never a big deal. Now all of a sudden she guards it like it's a CIA top secret file, something's going on. You know, she's sleeping with it under her pillow. It's always within arm's reach. It's always face down. These sorts of things. Uh, she's protective of her phone because she's got secrets. Uh, she will be uh, a master manipulator at making you feel guilty. She will make you feel guilty for questioning anything. This is her goal. If she can get you to feel guilty about questioning simple things that any normal person would question, then this makes the cheating a lot less stressful for her and a lot easier for her. Uh, you know, you're being controlled. Well, maybe she's right. Maybe I am being controlled. Maybe I need to, maybe I need to calm down. But this is manipulation, and that's all it is. She's manipulating you into believing that you are the problem and her behavior is not. Because her behavior is the problem. But if she can get you to believe you're the problem, then that makes her cheating a lot easier to get away with. If you find yourself in this situation, this is the biggest thing for you, for you husbands out there. Do not confront her on these things. Not saying not to ask questions, just saying don't make accusations. Don't accuse her of cheating. Because without proof, she's only going to lie anyway. Men do, right? So women do the same thing. I mean, we may be men and women, but we're all human. We all have a defense mechanism. So the way to do this is to everything you hear and see is data and evidence. Remember that, data and evidence. Everything you see and everything you hear. They can easily lie about something. What they can't do is hide the way they do things. You notice actions, you notice habits, you notice rituals. This doesn't lie. Words lie, actions do not lie. So pay attention to the actions. Your job is not to confront, your job is to observe. Ask questions, that's fine. Don't accuse. And most importantly, do not chase. Do not believe that there is something you're going to do that's going to fix this. You're not going to fix it. She has to fix it, not you. So don't chase. If you find out that your wife is being unfaithful, then your job is to observe, collect evidence and data, because there's a good chance you're going to need it later. So observe, write everything down. You need to journal. You need to write everything down, what you saw, when you saw it, what happened. And if this eventually ends up in divorce court, then you have your evidence. Um, this is what smart people do. Can be hard to do because you have all these emotions. You're hurt, you're angry. This is very natural. But if you're smart, you don't confront, you don't accuse, you observe. And this will tell you everything you need to know. Like I said, her words can lie, her actions don't. So observe the actions. It's all data and evidence. So whether you choose to one day use this in court, whether you don't, maybe you choose to reconcile. That's completely up to you. But observe and collect and keep everything that you observe, write it down, whatever it takes, and do not chase. Do not think you're going to fix this by becoming some great husband or something else because you are already good enough. She married you. So you already proven your worth. So keep this in mind whenever this subject comes up. And, you know, hopefully you never go through this, but if you do, do it the right way. And you know, but don't blame all women for what your wife done because not all women are cheaters. There are plenty of women out there that are, excellent wives and would never cheat. And this isn't your fault. She made this choice. You're not responsible for her inability to control her emotions and her, you know, her body. So hopefully this helps. If you're looking for this type of help, hopefully you're not. But if you are, hopefully this will guide you along the right path of what you need to do. Again, my name is Mike. I'm a Trinity of Christ Ministries. I'm also a relationship coach. So please visit us at trinityofchrist.org if you'd like some more information. We have lots of great information there. You can also find us on Facebook. Uh, until next time, I wish you the best of luck. God bless you, and I'll see you again.